Good morning. We discussed the topic of heart attack, and this morning we want to continue with our series and look at heart failure. We defined heart attack as the interruption or in blood flow to the heart, the interruption in blood flow to the heart. And we want to consider this morning heart failure, which we are defining as the inadequate blood flow from the heart. The inadequate blood flow from the heart. So when the heart is pumping to supply the whole body with the blood, that blood which comes from the heart is not very sufficient to cater for everything. Now, there are several other problems that are associated with heart failure. I'll pass through different types of diseases, just highlighting them. At the moment, I'm not yet discussing the solutions. I'm just highlighting the problems, indicating what they are, and then thereafter I will begin looking at the solutions against the heart problems. Heart problems are very much related in the causes, and therefore the solutions also are very, very much related and are almost the same. So I want to discuss and highlight several other problems. When I have finished, then now I will go in the natural remedies of what we can do as individuals to curb this problem of heart problems or cardiovascular diseases. These can either be circulatory or cardiac problems. Cardiac are those that affect the heart itself, and then there are others which affect the circulatory system, where we are going to look at the arterial problems. So we will still seclude some of them and discuss them in detail one by one. Things like hypertension, things like arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis, those which seem to be at the root of heart problems, we are going to isolate them and debate them on their own. Now, let's look at several other issues that may occur when somebody has a heart failure. Now, heart failure may either be acute, short term, or it may be chronic, which means long term. You live with it for quite a long time. Now, what are some of the problems that are associated with heart failure? First of all, the first one we are going to look at is arrhythmia. Arrhythmia occurs when there's an irregular rhythm in the beating of the heart. Okay, the rhythm has been tampered with. This is caused by problems in the cells in the heart, which send an electrical signal to the pumping sequence. And so the pumping sequence, when the electrical signal is faulty, the pumping sequence is also affected, and the rhythm of the heart is tampered with. Okay? The rhythm of the heart is tampered with. I want also to consider what is called, as a second one, what is called palpitation. What are palpitation? This occurs when the heart seems to pound, whether regular or irregular, but the heart is just pounding, and then we say somebody has heart palpitations. There's also what is called tachycardia. Some of these things I may not pronounce it the medical way because I'm not a medical person. I'm a nutritionist. And not only that, I'm not really medical in nature, but I love researching about foods, and I love to take care of my body from the natural way. You know, I am one person who is coming from a background where I was very, very, very fat. My BMI was way almost about 30. Okay, so you'd believe me that I was too much overweight. And so I had to take necessary actions to ensure that I get back to health. So tachycardia occurs when the heart beats too fast when it is at rest. Okay, the normal situation is that when a person rests, the heart is also supposed to be a little bit slow or a little bit lower down its pace. Now, if it happens that you are resting and yet the heart now seems to even pound much harder, that is a very serious problem that we need to get concerned of. And so that is what we call tachycardia. There is also the opposite to this, which is referred as bradycardia. Bradycardia occurs when the heart beats too slow or when it slows down its beating rate. This is now bradycardia. There's also number 5, which is called ectopic beats. Ectopic beats, or sometimes referred as skipped beats, occur when the heart beats are premature, producing longer rests between certain beats, and again very short beats between certain beats. So when this is occurring, we are saying the person is suffering from skipped beats or ectopic beats. There's what they also, those that are educated, that write medical terms, that they call fibrillation or flutter. Fibrillation or flutter are a little different. An electrical error occurs in the cells which send some beat signals to the heart, causing it to twitch instead of the heart to pump normally as it is supposed to do. Because of the electrical signal fault, it begins to twitch and therefore producing very, very abnormal beats or subnormal beats. Okay, then there's also what is called vascular disease. Now, vascular disease is a general term that we use to define the diseases that affect different many parts of the heart, especially those which affect, especially those which affect the valves, so that they fail to close or to open at regular times. These are several problems that are called vascular disease. They may be, this may be caused by sometimes congenital. At times, it may be caused by rheumatic fever or endocarditis. These are infections of the heart muscles. So these are some of the problems that are associated with the heart failure. Now, if you have understood the difference between heart failure and heart attack, we were saying heart attack is the interruption in blood flow to the heart, and heart failure is now the inadequacy of blood supply to the entire body, because the heart can no longer function properly, or probably it is facing a lot of problems in doing this. Now, there are other problems which are very closely related to heart failure, or which may occur when heart failure is about to occur. These may be caused by coronary problems, artery problems, or heart muscle problems. Some of these problems that are highly related to coronary problems, artery problems, and heart muscle problems are the following. Number 1, cardiomegaly or cardiac hypertrophy. What is cardiac hypertrophy? This is the increase in size of the heart muscles due to increased stress. The heart begins to enlarge, and because it begins to enlarge, many times it is with a purpose to accommodate the extra stress, but this only weakens the heart. It is caused by resistance in blood flow, because blood is no longer flowing properly. From the previous diseases, we discussed what causes or what makes the blood fail to flow properly. And so the heart begins bulging and growing bigger and bigger. Another issue that we need to discuss on these problems is what is called congestive heart failure. Congestive heart failure is a chronic condition that results in fluid accumulation in the heart or edema. You will see that the ankles are beginning they are beginning to swell, and there's fluid collection around them. This is going to result in labored breathing, especially after mild exertion. You find that somebody really finds it difficult to breathe. There's also what is called cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest occurs when the heart just stops beating simply because there is a shortage of blood flow reaching the brain. The brain that must control the pace at which the heart works. When there's an interruption or when there's a stoppage of blood flow to the brain, it may affect the heart muscles, and so the heart can just stop and fail to work. Now, coronary artery problems are often the cause of this very, very severe issue. And when this happens, you just see a person falling unconscious, and it is the end of the story. So, brothers and sisters, this is the story not to take so kindly. The good thing that I have even chosen to show you in my background here, trees which are very big and grown, and I'm sure as you look carefully, you are able to see the mango fruits. I'm trying to say, Africa, we have a solution to these problems. We have not suffered as it used to be in the past from these conditions. Now we suffer from them simply because we are trying to change our African way of life. Now, friends, we have a solution, and that is why I am purposed not to keep quiet until I have spoken out. I know I am not the best learned person in these issues. I know that I'm not the best or the specialist that you needed to consult. But one thing I know is that I will not keep quiet and let others speak for me when I had an opportunity to speak for myself. So I say unto you, you have the solution, I have the solution. Together we have the solution against these problems. So please, let us work together. Team up. Wait as we continue discussing, especially as I begin coming to the solutions. You will believe me very much that the solution lies in Africa. And so if there are people who need to teach the world about how to fight heart problems, it is Africa. You and me, we hold the solution to this problem. Allow me to highlight just 3 other conditions which affect the heart but are caused by issues which are not related to coronary or artery or heart muscle problems. So let me highlight these other conditions which are not related in terms of causes to these. Number 1, allow me to talk about carditis. Carditis is an infection in the heart muscle, sometimes caused by rheumatic fever. It can lead to permanent heart damage. Now, this is not caused by the other foods that we have been debating, so we may highlight it, but we will not go very much in its details. We leave it for the doctors to discuss. Another one is endocarditis. Endocarditis is an infection of the endocardium. This is the sac-like membrane which surrounds the heart. So, People with damaged immune system many times face a condition called endocarditis, especially those who are suffering from HIV/AIDS. Other people that may suffer from these are those who have undergone heart surgery. They may suffer permanent heart damage. So, endocarditis, as you can see, that it borders also on the strength of our immune system. We will talk about it when we talk about how we can repair our immune system to those of us that are suffering under the pandemic of HIV/AIDS. Another issue that I may emphasize is cardiomyopathy. Cardiomyopathy summarizes several heart problems, including enlargement of one or more heart chambers, heart muscle rigidity, etc. Okay, causes include inherited defects and certain diseases. These that may occur probably because of heredity problems as well as other diseases. We may not really go in details of them, but we will try to scratch a bit to look at how can we care for ourselves. Remember, friends, I was emphasizing the fact that we have the solution to these many problems that affect the heart. Now, when I come next, we are discussing natural remedies against heart problems. So stay tuned. Now it is the time to go in details. If I was a prophet somewhere in one of the churches, you would be saying, go deeper, Papa. Now it is the hour that I'll be going deeper. For now, stay tuned. This is what you have been waiting for. Good day.